Hey guys, it's Ross going on the Space Coach 8. We're joined by the Ryanair 737-800 because we're going to have a look through this Airlines Worldwide by B.I.Hengi. This is the 1994 volume. I also have the 97 one, and we'll have a look at that separately. So nothing really on the back. But you see, fascinating airlines, some of whom no longer exist. So let's just start going through this. There's a very interesting Ryanair item as well, which I'll show you. So I've got loads of just pages of different airlines and their codes and destinations and all that sort of thing. So, starts off Aer Lingus and Adria of Slovenia. I'm not going to go through all of these because there's so many. But Aeroflot and Aerolíneas Argentinas, the old Aeroflot livery of the 90s, and theirs of the 90s as well, before they were taken over by Iberia for a time. Aero Peru DC-10. African Safari Airways. I knew they continued operating later, and I'm sure I said I had a DC-8 or a DC-10. There is their DC-10. We saw them in one of the John K. Morton volumes. And there's an Air Afrique DC-10 as well. Just going to go through this to find the more interesting airlines. Air Canada 747-400 in that quite attractive late 80s, early 90s livery. This airline was fascinating. Air Columbus, because they also had a 757 and a 727 with winglets back in the 90s, and I think that's in one of the airline volumes I've showed you in the past. But very nice livery. And there is Air China. Is that 767? Yes. There's an Air France A340. Air Gabon, they did have that 747, there's on their Fokker 100s. They had that freighter, didn't they? The Air India livery that dare not speak its name, they started applying this. There was an uproar from the Indian public and they reverted to the 70s Maharaja livery. And there is Air Holland in their full livery on the 757. Air Inter, who also operated the Mercure, and there's Air Jamaica, very attractive livery. Just an Air Lanka Tristar, they're obviously Sri Lankan airways. Oh, Air Koryo, North Korea, Illusional 62. Air Mauritius 747 SP and an Air Moldova 2134. An Air Namibia SP, that would have come from South African Airways, I believe. And there's Air New Zealand 767 in their old livery. Let's see, very attractive Air Tanzania. Air Transat, one of their 757s. Air Zimbabwe, still flying that 767 today. There's Air Zaire on the other page. Alitalia and All Nippon in a special scheme. That looks like it's Hong Kong. America West and American Airlines next to each other. Interesting because they merged into each other many years later. There's just American Transair, who also got taken over with one of their Tristars. AOM, Air Outremer, one of their, is that a DC-10 or an MD-11? It's DC-10. Ariana, Afghan Airlines, one of their Tupolevs, and there's an Arrow Air DC-8. Avenza, very similar to the old Pan Am livery. That's because they had historical links with Pan Am, and I think were owned by them or part owned by them at one point. There's Avianca 747. Vulcan, they're no longer around. There's Bal Air, CTA, they're no longer around. Brothans and Britannia. BA Concorde. British Midland in its 80s livery. British West Indies Tristar. British World Airlines. Flying back 111's a World Airline, yeah. Caledonian DC, Tristar, Cameroon Airlines 747. Cathay in the classic livery in one of their Tristars. Chinese Airlines, China Southern, China Southwest. Continental A300 in their livery at the time, very similar to the current United livery, of course. Corsair, they also flew 300s and SPs, I believe, on their French holiday routes. Cyprus Airways and Cubana. Technically, I've flown on Cubana from Guadalajara to Havana, but it was a 737-200 leased from another airline. Delta and Deutsche BA. They may have become German wings, I can't remember. Emirates A310 and El Al. Yeah. So they had Emirates 5 A300s, 8 A310s, 3 727s, and they had 7 777s on order. Sounds like an airline with a real future. Let's see. There's a Forster Tristar and the Express 1 DC-10. FedEx and Finnair DC-10s. Gulf Air 767. Iberia A300, forgot they flew there. Hawaiian DC-8. Iceland Air 757. So we'll just pause this video here and continue in the next part because we're only about halfway through.